Imagine standing in a place where people don't just come for a photo, they come to write their own love stories. When Sophie first arrives in Italy, she is captivated by a surreal scene. Tourists are crowding around a statue, touching it for luck, while others stand on balconies recreating the iconic Romeo and Juliet scene. But the real shock is yet to come. The wall next to the statue is completely covered in thousands of handwritten love letters where people have poured out their hearts. At first, Sophie is skeptical. She thinks it's just a tourist trap designed to attract crowds. But then, as the crowd thins out, she sees a woman carefully taking down each letter and placing them in a basket. Overcome with curiosity, Sophie quietly follows her. The woman leads her through a narrow alley to an old house, and what Sophie sees inside changes everything. Women of all ages are sitting together, reading these letters and writing replies to each one. These are the secretaries of Juliet, providing guidance to lovers from all over the world as if Juliet herself were directing them. Slowly, Sophie becomes a part of their group. One day, Sophie discovers a 50-year-old letter hidden deep within a crack in the wall. It was written by a girl named Claire, who fell in love with a man named Lorenzo at first sight. Due to family pressure, she couldn't meet him, and they were separated for what seemed like forever. Sophie sees a reflection of her own life in this story and impulsively writes a reply to Claire. She has no idea if the letter will ever reach her, but a few days later, the door opens. An angry man named Charlie, Claire's grandson, appears. He argues that if his grandmother doesn't find Lorenzo, her heart will be broken all over again. But Sophie stands her ground, telling him true love doesn't have an expiration date. And so, a journey begins. Not just a search for a person, but a quest to understand love itself. Claire arrives in person, determined to find her love from 50 years ago. Sophie, Charlie, and Claire travel through the villages of Italy, meeting every Lorenzo they can find. They face moments of hope and moments of heartbreak, but Claire's faith never wavers. During this journey, everything begins to change between Sophie and Charlie. Their initial friction turns into respect, and then into something much deeper. But just when it seems like the search is over, they find only a grave. Claire is devastated, and Charlie, consumed by anger, fights with Sophie as everything seems to fall apart. But the story doesn't end there. The next morning, a small spark of hope reignites. At a vineyard, they see a young man, and then an elderly man with silver hair arrives on horseback. Claire and the man lock eyes, and this time there is no mistake. It is Lorenzo. 50 years of waiting vanishes in a single instant. They embrace as if no time had passed at all, and in that moment, Sophie realizes love is never late. It just waits for the right time.